In this video, I am going to show you step by step how to do change management communication plans to save you time in the process. There are 6 steps for you to keep in mind. Step 1, define your change objectives. For the change management communication plan objective, here's an example. Is it an awareness type of communication, or are you just providing regular updates? Is it an invitation to attend a meeting or to invite people to a workshop or a roadshow? Is the objective of the communication to assess something, or is it to educate? Is it a regular briefing, or is it just a reminder? Depending on the change management software that your organization is using, you should see on your communication tool, you should see the objective component. If your organization is using the all-in-one OCM solution, which I am using right here and sharing on my screen, the link is below. All you have to do is from your main dashboard, scroll down and click on Tools. And when you get to Tools, you click here where it says Communications. And then you see your communications that has been scheduled, and you can click here to add a new communication. If you are using Excel, an Excel template, you want to ensure that there is a column within that template for you to capture objectives. When defining your change objectives, you want to ensure that you clarify the goals and scope of the change project. Ensure that you document what success looks like. A lot of times, another reason why projects fail is what success looks like was never defined. So, for your communication plan, what does success look like? For example, your communication plan success could be reaching a particular number of targeted audience, improved proficiency or improved efficiency, but after people have read the communications that you are sending, could also be another example of the goal, scope, and what success looks like for your communication. Ensure that your objectives are measurable so you can later evaluate communication effectiveness. And that brings us to step number 2. For step number 2, you want to identify stakeholders. And so ensure that you are mapping out all individuals, groups, and departments that will be impacted by the change. When identifying stakeholders, it helps if you enter each stakeholder into your stakeholder assessment template. And here's an example on my screen. We have the first name of the stakeholder, last name, their email, their job role, their department. Sometimes you can include their region, but it's not really mandatory. If they are receptive to the change, you also want to document that. If they have a lot of influence to positively or negatively impact your project, you also want to include that. If they have availability to support your project, you also want to include that. And so for your stakeholder templates, you just want to ensure that you are documenting your stakeholders appropriately. As you identify your stakeholders, you want to ensure that you segment them by influence, job role, impact level, senior leaders, frontline employees, customers, partners may each need a different communication. Another reason why people say they resist a change is they feel a communication or communications we're not really speaking their language. So when it comes to change management, whether that is communication, training, engagement, one size does not fit all. Where possible, ensure that you are customizing each communication for each audience. You also want to prioritize high impact groups to ensure that those critical audiences, they are getting the right information first. And that brings us to step number 3. For step number 3, you want to develop key messages. Draft clear, consistent messaging tailored to each audience segment. Ensure that you are answering the what, the why, the how, and the what's in it for me to address both organizational and personal benefits. When human beings are faced with change, they are often thinking about what's in it for me or how does this impact me. And so you want to ensure that you don't leave your impacted users guessing. Your communication is answering what, why, how, what's in it for them. You also want to ensure that you anticipate resistance by proactively addressing common concerns or issues that people are having. And that moves us to step number 4. For step number 4, you want to select communication channels. When selecting your communication channel, choose methods that resonate with each group. Use email for broad announcements. Use town halls for leadership alignment. Use newsletters or intranet for ongoing updates. Use workshops or team huddles for hands-on guidance. You can even use one-on-one sessions. You can use meetings. You can, if you're using the all-in-one change management software, which is what I am currently sharing on my screen, the link is below. You can add your own channel. So you can say, for example, newsletter. And there it is right there, newsletter. You could also add workshop. So it is important that you select the right channel based on what your audience are expecting and how they like to be communicated with. When I do organizational change management for a wide range of organizations, like I've done for Apple, Cisco, Intel, and other organizations, I normally recommend to stakeholders and leadership to use a multi-pronged channel. Using a multi-channel approach helps to reinforce key messaging and ensure that no audience is left behind. In addition, based on decades of studies, people normally have to hear the same thing 7 different times, 7 different ways for it to start to register. So to increase your success, make sure you are leveraging a multi-channel approach. And that moves us to step number 5. For step number 5, you want to establish a communication timeline. Create a detailed communication calendar that outlines what messages will be sent, when they will be sent, who will deliver them. You also want to ensure that you sync up the timeline with project milestones to avoid confusion or premature announcements. And that brings us to step number 6. For step number 6, you will want to assign responsibilities. One thing that I normally tell clients that I am doing organizational change management for is this: if you don't assign responsibility, then no one takes ownership. And so, in assigning responsibilities for communications, you want to ensure you clearly identify communication owners, such as change managers, project sponsors, human resources, IT, or departmental leaders. You also want to provide communication, talking points, so leaders feel confident in cascading communications. And here is something that is very, very important. You want to hold communication owners accountable for delivery and follow up. You want to ensure you are following up with them to make sure they have sent the communication. And if there is any follow up that needs to be done, you also want to ensure that you are following up with them to get that done also. Now, here is a bonus step for you when it comes to developing and delivering an effective communication plan. You want to gather feedback and adjust your change management plan as needed. There's so many times when I deliver change management where I have needed to pivot my change management communication approach due to new information coming to light or based on how individuals are reacting to the communications or to the sender that is sending that communication. There are sometimes we feel that leadership and managers should help to cascade communications. But there are sometimes we have these managers or directors or senior executives, they are so busy that they never get around to sending out the communications, no matter how many times you follow up with them. In which case, I've had to find alternative senders of those communications to ensure that the impacted users are being communicated with the right way. You also want to set up feedback loop using surveys, focus groups, or digital tools. You want to monitor adoption metrics and employee sentiment to see if your messages are landing. And when it comes to adjusting your change management communication plan, you want to continuously adjust your plan as necessary to ensure you close gaps and keep your stakeholders engaged. This is a very, very important point that can help you increase your successes. I know I have said a lot of things today. To help increase your success, I have created a free checklist. The link is below that will help you action all of these points that I've mentioned during today's session. Here is a screenshot of the checklist. You will notice that the checklist is a simple checklist that breaks the activities into key steps. And these right here are the 6 steps on how to do a change management communication plan. Watch the next video and continue to increase your success. Also, check out free resources below, including free templates, free checklists, and a software trial to help you in your change management professional journey. See you there.